Okay, yeah, I wanted to touch on this. This is absolutely insane. I don't know what possesses people to go this crazy. I don't understand. Look at these people. POV, I'm pregnant, have a headache, and still reaching for Tylenol. Sorry, not sorry. The orange man is not my OB. I don't even know what OB is. I'm not gonna lie.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. Gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
I always feel like we finally hit peak stupidity, but then things happen. And once again, I am proved wrong.
Chat, where's my tweet? Hold on. Where's my tweet? Me when my chatter starts sassing me a little too much. You watch your mouth! You watch it right now! I'm kidding. You guys are gonna be fine. I would never do that to you.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And today is an especially bumpy Hell Gondola ride indeed. Also, I really quickly want to make note of some things happening over with my tea company. If you are new here, I have a little tea business. I make yummy little blends. Number one, my winter flavors will probably be back in stock tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's when I get my newest shipment. So like I said, no pre-sale, they'll just be straight on the website for you to buy. Number two, and I think this is much more important, as you guys know, I don't like throwing things away. And I have a bunch of tea that's going to be expiring at the end of November, more or less, although tea doesn't really expire and they're all individually sealed, so you know, there's that. So if you are cool with that, use the discount code WE DON'T WASTE for 50% off on the Emerald Green, Earl Grey, and New York breakfast. And if you are somebody who has a church or you have a cafe or somewhere that serves tea drinks, please reach out to me because I have been giving no strings attached tea to people, to churches and to cafes and restaurants and things, just for them to actually be able to sell to their people, because if I don't sell all these boxes, I'm gonna have to throw them away, and I would rather they get used through these other organizations and through other businesses. That's all. Sorry I'm talking so much. I just want to let you guys know we don't waste for 50% off of those 3 flavors if you're not worried about the expiration impending. Now, we have an especially
I didn't know tea could expire, not gonna lie.
Because it's the end of 2025 and nothing has improved. I am sure many of you have already seen the recent announcement by Trump and the Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr.
I'm gonna take Tylenol to get supertisms.
That the FDA will be updating drug safety guidelines for Tylenol usage for pregnant women. Also known by its other name, acetaminophen, which I won't be saying too much because it's quite a mouthful. Just the way Tylenol likes it. Anyway, the reason for this update is because some studies have associated Tylenol usage during pregnancy with adverse neurological outcomes in children. There is a suggested link to autism as well as other conditions like ADHD. So mothers are taking Tylenol for their headaches and giving their child a permanent one. I am kidding, obviously. We love moms.
Maybe my mom did that with me.
On this channel, we respect moms on this channel.
I'm a VTuber.
The jokes. They kind of write themselves. I also know this is a very touchy subject. Tylenol, giving all new meaning to big brain. Okay, I'll stop. Trump and RFK Jr. also announced a promising therapeutic treatment for kids with autism that also have folate deficiencies, which I'm not going to get into, but there you go, now you know. Now, although I am a doctor, I am not that kind of a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to weigh in here about whether or not all of this is true
I'm a doctor,
and fair and accurate.
Trust me.
And even the administration, with these new findings, with this new information, has said that because there is conflicting data on the Tylenol subject, the Department of Health and Human Services is advising doctors to use their best judgment.
Yeah, exercise their best judgment.
And offer women the lowest possible dosage for the shortest amount of time when necessary. Which seems pretty fair and reasonable to me. I mean, pregnant women across the board are told not to eat deli meat because 0.012% of them...
You can't eat sushi either! Yeah, you can't eat sushi if you're pregnant, or you shouldn't be.
End up getting listeria.
That sounds pretty normal. People made it sound like, to me personally, like they were stuffing, like they were saying, if you take Tylenol, you're gonna die. Like that's what I thought was happening on the internet.
Bacterial infection.
You just instantly get autism.
Stuff. And yet, despite the fact that incidence of this infection is relatively rare, they are still told unilaterally to stay away from the cured pig meat. So if we can do some broad sweeping stuff over here, why can't we do the same thing when it comes to these kind of drugs? That's the real question that I have.
That is very weird.
In response to this news, instead of being normal, sane people, progressive women on TikTok have decided to film themselves taking Tylenol while pregnant to, I don't know, spite Trump? To
stick it to the man. Fuck the government. Am I right, fellas?
Tell you, this is one hell of a gondola ride today.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. Gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
So let me get this straight. The FDA announced that there may be a link between Tylenol and autism, which I'm sure was thoroughly tested over years through many studies, because there's no way they were just throwing darts at the board, right, to make these claims. But because Trump is the one that announced it, we're gonna take copious amounts of Tylenol and post it to the public on TikTok or whatever. Really? Like, I don't even know what to say, chat. This is peak mental delusion. No one person should have this much power over you. Not a single person saying something should make you want to do the opposite, even if it's at your own detriment. This is peak ideological, like, captured TikTok brain behavior. This is what happens when you get so addicted to updates on Reddit and engagement and likes on TikTok and Twitter, while simultaneously being a political schizo. We need to go back, man. Everyone is becoming mentally ill. If social media didn't exist, I promise you these women would never do this. Promise. I saw this on Twitter. There are unironically people in the hospital at this very moment with liver failure because they took a ton of Tylenol to try and farm up dudes to say, "Fuck you. I don't listen to the government. I don't like Trump." Like, this is retarded, man. You need to stop. What are you doing? I just don't understand.
Where are the husbands in all of this? Now, a lot of these videos don't
Gulp.
have audio,
Gulp.
but they feature mostly the same sort of caption. I'm pregnant and have a headache and still reaching for Tylenol. Sorry, not sorry. Orange man is not my OB. I love how they do this because they solely want other women to get on the internet and then seal clap for their utter stupidity.
Yeah, it's the updude addiction, like I said.
I think the majority of us are over here like, do you have a dumb? Here's me, a pregnant woman taking Tylenol because I believe in science and not someone who has no medical background.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. He didn't. You are so fucking stupid. Trump didn't wake up this morning and decide he's gonna tell everyone that Tylenol causes autism because he saw it in a fucking dream with JD Vance in it. That's not how it works. The FDA likely spent years researching it, and he just announced it for them as the front man because Trump has a huge ego and loves attention. It's just optics. It's just bringing him attention to the thing. He didn't go and fucking study this himself. He wasn't down there in the labs doing the test. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you saying, you stupid bitch?
I am willing to bet this woman wore a mask in her
Actually, no, it's Harvard research. Why does it make a difference in what I said? It's still...
and spent 3 years being afraid of air. Oh yes, I believe in science, but only when the people I like are telling me the science. I'm sorry, but you just look stupid. Stocking up on Tylenol because I know it doesn't cause autism. I am not kidding. I would love to know who is impregnating these women because it's feeling a little irresponsible.
Maybe it's like photosynthesis. There's just like mitosis. I don't know.
On the part of the men. I don't know, guys. When I was growing up,
This is
I heard that rule
mitosis.
a lot passed around men about not putting your man pickle in the crazy sauce, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
Hello,
she's really
chickens,
hot.
Editing Sydney from the future here, because I forgot to tell you that there is a kind of sauce that we do like on this channel, although it's not actually sauce, it's hot
Sauce.
chocolate, and it's a kind of hot chocolate that helps you sleep, which is why today's video is sponsored by Beam. I have officially become
Beam
a dream
this.
merchant because anytime anyone in my life says that they're having trouble sleeping, I immediately suggest they try Dream Sleep Hot Cocoa.
Oh,
I even recently
Beam,
used
not
Dream
Bean.
in pill form on a long haul flight a few weeks ago, and I slept the entire time. It's not very often that I find a brand that I like as much as Dream, but I think it's because this stuff
Dream
actually
a
works.
little dream
It also
of me.
tastes really good, but that's probably more of a secondary point. I drink my sleepy hot chocolate about an hour before bed, and I find myself calmly heading off to sleep and staying asleep, and I also don't get that gross grogginess
I need
when
better
I wake
sleep.
up, which honestly is really important to me because grogginess completely ruins my mornings. I feel like I'm struggling the
True.
entire time.
Me too.
But I wake up feeling rested when I drink Dream, which is why I continue doing it. I have also converted basically
Dream a
everybody in
little
my life to
dream
this
of
stuff,
me.
so I don't know. I now have the testimony of like 5 different people. I really like that Dream uses great ingredients like reishi and magnesium.
What's
and
reishi?
L-theanine and melatonin.
Is that a VTuber?
Although there are melatonin-free
Reishi
options
pieces?
if that isn't for you. So if you too want the best night's sleep and a yummy drink, then click the link in the description or go to shopbeam.com/SydneyW, and of course use code SydneyW for up to 35% off today. I mean, at least this woman is obviously pregnant, but I don't think she's actually even taking Tylenol here. This tablet is blue. I don't know. Maybe there are blue tablets, but
I have no
usually
idea.
they're white. So this is what, like extra performative performance?
I've seen acetaminophen that's like orange and dark red too. I don't know.
And why does this read like a Tylenol commercial? Why have you positioned the bottles this way? What am I watching?
Dude, this is gonna be so bad. Like, such a bad look for Tylenol, man. What if they're, like, why would you even take the risk? Like, what if they are right? I don't know.
Here. I am reaching for the Tylenol because I work in a pharmacy and know there's zero correlation between Tylenol and autism. That's a bold claim. Zero correlation. Okay, pharmacy lady. I do think that this last weird TikTok kind of does.
This is a pharmacy tech or a front desk girl. You're not a full-blown pharmacist, or you would have said, though. Like, you would have said that in the TikTok. Working at a pharmacy does not make you an expert. Again, this is like this retarded performative activism with no basis other than Orange Man bad. This is the equivalent of saying, like, I work at a clinic, so I know how to do brain surgery. Like, you're a fucking moron.
Hit an odd
What the fuck?
nail on the head, given that there are a lot of people now who are making the claim that there's no relationship between this drug and negative birth outcomes. And yet there has been evidence mounting for years and years that says exactly the opposite, that does show a correlation between these two things. And I'm not saying how good or bad that evidence is, I'm just saying that it exists. A short trip down memory lane gives us an announcement.
This is from 2015. Look at this. 10 years ago.
From the FDA in 2015 suggesting a potential issue with Tylenol and pregnancy. This Johns Hopkins 2019 research paper, taking Tylenol during pregnancy, associated with elevated risks for autism, ADHD. And this found that in newborns with the highest exposure to the core drug in Tylenol, they were about 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD or autism spectrum disorder in childhood, which is, that's alarming. In 2016, 2017, and 2021, and honestly, I'm sure that they have covered this previously as well, CNN ran pieces about the drug's relationship to risks of ADHD in kids and risks to pregnancy. Of course, now they've changed their tune to Big Pharma good, Orange Man bad, because who cares about consistency, am I right? There are, of course,
Media
other
man,
research papers and other
journalists.
studies and evaluations that have cautioned women against taking Tylenol while pregnant, as it may lead to potentially negative outcomes in babies.
They've also said to just lessen the dose so you don't, like, overwork your liver. It works with your liver, doesn't it?
have
just
also
don't
dug
chuck
up Tylenol's
Tylenol.
previous
It's not
tweets where the company
hard.
seems to admit itself that taking the medication while pregnant is not advised. Although, you know, admittedly, this is contradicted by what is directly written on their website right now, which argues that it has been widely tested and is safe for women in all stages.
Well, they have to say that because it's a product of the company that sells money. Like, that's why they're probably also saying this. That's why they're being contradictory. Of their life.
For some reason as well, the situation has given left-wing
money.
outlets this weird haha moment, where they've posted articles saying conservatives are mounting down about pregnant women taking Tylenol, or the women posting these videos in the first place are in defiance of Trump. But I think
even if there was nothing wrong, like if I was a baby and I grew up and saw my mom doing TikToks of taking Tylenol and saying like my baby's not gonna grow up autistic and I don't have autism, I'm still gonna be like, what the fuck, mom? Like, why did you do a TikTok while you were pregnant with me and like bragging about how you're gonna stick it to someone just because you thought differently? Like, you had a different opinion on like how Tylenol works. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, the cognitive dissonance is unreal.
That's part of what's actually insane here. I personally am a big believer in adults making their own choices, but making good and educated choices, informed choices, which is why back when I made my video talking about hormonal birth control, I really hammered on the fact that a lot of us in our teens, when we're prescribed the pill, don't have what I would consider to be good informed consent. But that's obviously a conversation for another day. But I think hilariously, the informed consent, educated consent thing is what is sort of circling this entire topic. It's not as if Trump and co said, you can never ever take Tylenol ever again. We're going to ban it and pull it off shelves and do all these things and restrict your access to it. They're saying, when you take this, if you decide to take this, make sure that that's a good and informed decision.
I can liken this to like people who say, oh, well, I can't give up smoking because I'm addicted to smoking, and then they smoke while they're pregnant. It's like, what did you expect? You can show evidence and studies all you want. Like, it is solidified that smoking while you're pregnant is bad. People still fucking do it.
Department of Health and Human Services has more or less said,
why take the risk
when taking this drug when you're pregnant?
People don't even take the risk of eating sushi, which has parasites in it that can make you sick potentially. I'm not saying that all sushi can do that, but you fucking do it. You're still a human being. You're an adult.
And speak to your physician. And they didn't even say that it definitively causes autism. They said it's a factor in a series of factors. So all of these weirdos who are running around the internet ingesting this drug to, I don't know, own Trump, to own the right wing, are...
Maybe you're just owning yourself, and the owns along the way are what you get at the end.
Genuinely insane. These lunatic weirdos let their hate for Orange Man completely destroy their ability to use rational thought, because Trump and friends are not pulling this information out of their buttholes. It's coming from Harvard, and it's coming from other researchers and doctors. And if there is a potential that this drug causes autism, contributes to autism, whatever, I actually think it's a good thing that women have access to that information so that they can make their own decisions going forward.
Being an adult,
as a
crazy.
Aside, I would bet a lot of money that the people currently going bananas over this right now probably, were the trust the science folks during the big sneeze and think that Anthony Fauci is some sort of living god. So, there's that. And I've seen so many people share weird graphics saying autism is some sort of superpower that doesn't need to be fixed.
Number one piece of advice I can give for you: hire the most autistic person you know. I'm talking that motherfucker who goes nonverbal when there's groups bigger than 3. That is where the magic comes. Autism in the trenches, it's alchemy for literal cash. I mean, people don't get this, right? You're scared of the kid who looks like he might, I won't say it on stream, right? But like, that kid is a gold mine. Man, the guy that made Call of Duty, you think he can speak and hold a regular conversation? No. People don't understand that weaponized autism is the key to greatness. I mean, my whole generation, bro, we all had a couple bad vaccines, but it was the motherfuckers who tried to steer away from that instead of just accepting that something something is a little off. You know, we had some fried, but more importantly, that that was fried is the key to living like a beautiful life. Embrace that autism and then weaponize that. It's like so beautiful.
And you know, maybe
This is so retarded. This isn't fucking, oh wow, look at this guy, he's really antisocial but super good at video games because he's autistic. This isn't like the, look at this guy, he's nonverbal but can listen to a song once and play it from memory on the piano autism. This isn't TikTok social media autism. You are so fucking internet brain rotted that you associate the term autism with some dude that's really good at one thing. That's not how it works in reality. Real full-blown autism is crippling. Sometimes they can't even develop proper motor skills. They need an assistant for life. They have to live with their parents until they die. This is a peak. I self-diagnosed myself with autism because I got Diamond in League as an Akali main and I'm sick as hell. Brain rot. You're fucking retarded. You are so stupid.
is a bigger component to this than a lot of us realize, and I honestly don't want to get into
I hate it. I hate that mentality, man.
Part of the problem here is the fact that people...
It's like OCD people. Yes, like the people that are like, oh yeah, I have OCD, I clean my room. It's like, that's not how actual OCD works. OCD people can't even leave the house without going back into the house 15 times because their OCD is so bad because they think they left the stove on. That's not quirky. That's like debilitating. Non-verbal kids that just can't even walk. They shit themselves. It's sad. And they live like that.
Have over self-diagnosed
God.
autism, and they
Actual
have
disability.
made autism this fun little quirky thing that you might have, that it refers to the sort of idiosyncrasies that individual people might have and display, rather than the debilitating neurological condition that it is that prohibits certain people from living full, fulfilling lives, that requires them to have full-time care.
They can't have partners. They have to live with their parents that take care of them. Gosh, it just blows my mind, man.
And you know, really is a condition that's not fun at all. And you know,
It's
I
not
think
quirky
something that really
chungus,
gets
man.
lost in all of this is that parents, regardless of their political leanings and persuasions, I would imagine, if they could, would snap their fingers and rid their children of the profound autism, as RFK Jr. calls it, because they know that this is no life for their little people, and this is no life even for their grown children that they continue to care for. And if
Forever.
they could give that child the opportunity to live a fulfilling, happy, normal life, they would do that. So I find it extremely upsetting and disappointing that this specific issue gets politicized as much as it does, because yeah, people have autism and they have it to varying degrees, but for the people who are profoundly affected by this condition, it's not just little quirkies and idiosyncrasies. It's a debilitating, challenging way to live, not just for the person who has it, but for the people who have to care for that individual and ensure that they do have a quality of life.
I saw someone quote retweet what got me going, the little, you know, Instagram post and saying like, oh yeah, autism should never be cured because autism is awesome. And it's like, the person quote retweeted and said, my sister has, like, she has autism. She can't get up in the morning. She needs to have help getting dressed. Everybody in the family has to live with them because they need to help each other deal with them. They have fights. They actively lash out and fight their parents. And it's like you're watching them and you're trying to help them and they don't understand you. Like, they can't understand what you're saying. Like, can you imagine putting yourselves into those shoes every single day? And be like, I just want them to be able to help themselves. But these people think like, oh, it's just this internet chungy, quirkus, wholesome chungus, you know, disability. It's like, yeah, the autism affects the entire family kind of thing.
Really didn't want to get all serious on you guys, but I do actually think this is a very serious topic, and I don't think that it's a political topic. I think that it's a, you know, non-partisan issue, and we should, I think, collectively be more focused on trying to find a way of bringing autism rates down. And so I'm sorry to the liberals who are upset about this, that this information is coming from people that you don't like, but they are committed to finding, not a cure necessarily, I don't know if that could exist, but they are committed to finding a way of ameliorating all of this for all of us. That last statement felt very pro-government, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to get at, because I don't have a big brain and I cannot articulate myself today. The last thing I want to note really, really quickly, because I do really think it matters, and again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, is the fact that a bunch of people are currently worshipping at the altar of Tylenol, and for some weird reason defending Big Pharma, because, okay. But what's not getting mentioned here is the fact that Tylenol as a brand has been at the heart of a bunch of not great lawsuits. It does cause negative effects on the body, and people routinely take too much of it, causing liver failure, kidney failure.
I barely take it. I have to have a really bad headache to reach for Tylenol. That's what my parents always taught me, to be honest. It's kind of funny. My mom would be like, oh, do you have a little headache or a big headache? And I'm like, it's a little one. She's like, suck it up. And I'm like, oh, okay. Go drink some water. And I'm like, okay.
There's all sorts of issues that are not associated with pregnancy. Now, ignoring all of this,
it's probably like a Eastern European thing, though.
Because you don't like who is delivering it, because you don't like who is telling you the news, is reckless. Because like I said, this is not a political issue. This is a health and wellness issue. This is an issue surrounding us failing the next generation of little people who are being brought into the world with all sorts of conditions that we could avoid had we just listened a little bit better to the news and the information that was around us. Researchers have continually been waving the red flag when it comes to this issue, and it keeps getting swept under the rug. I have said this a million times, but I'm gonna say it again. Drug companies do not care about you. They just don't. They are not impressed. They do not give a crap about the fact that there's a bunch of women currently taking Tylenol and potentially...
If anything, ultimately, I know this is going to sound evil, and I do think that corpos, at the end of the day, don't give a fuck. There's probably a sales spike increase from all the people buying Tylenol. They don't give a fuck. They're like, whoa, let's go!
Harming their pregnancies.
You never know.
About any of that. They don't think that you're some savior for their drug. All they care about is getting their drugs to market, and whatever ways, whatever things they need to do to make that happen. That is what they care about. And I think to demonstrate that, all we really need to do is look at thalidomide, which was the drug that was prescribed.
Oh, thalidomide! Oh, gosh. That was the one with the really sad deformed babies. I remember reading about that a while ago. Yeah, it's like one of the most famous cases, and like the company like didn't do anything about it. And then they were like, hey, we're having a lot of deformed babies born in the last like 5 years. And they're like, what? No, that's not because of us. And then they were like a couple of years later, like, oh, wait a minute, that might have been us. And then they just never sold thalidomide ever again. Yeah, the flipper babies. It's so sad. And then they grow up, if they survive, they grow up with a basically, imagine your hand and it's you have no arm. She'll probably show it.
To women, to pregnant women during the 50s and early 60s. It was a drug that was given to women for morning sickness, and yet it caused catastrophic birth defects.
Really sad.
The manufacturer
you don't
of
have
this drug,
you don't have an arm. It's like a hand.
About some of the drug's ill effects and chose not to publicize them, and this was a whole thing. Weirdly, this is one of the only things that I remember from the early days of my first degree, because we just did this like whole unit on something related to this. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I learned a ton about thalidomide.
Yeah, I read about it somewhere.
This is the one thing I remember, but it is. So yeah, thalidomide was eventually, after all these babies were deformed and all these mothers and fathers and lives were traumatized and broken and destroyed, they finally pulled the drug off shelves and kind of were like, well, oopsie, look, we kind of messed up. This video's gotten really serious.
And nothing ever happened to them, I'm pretty sure. They were like, whoops! Yeah, all those kids that passed away, or they were born with debilitating disabilities. Yep.
I wasn't intending for it to, but I guess I'm just, I care about this a lot, and I want to make the point that I think history tells us a lot about how drug companies are going to...
I'm not saying that Tylenol did this on purpose, but it's like, at the end of the day, they're making money. Yeah, they don't care.
It's not as if they've changed since the days of thalidomide.
Maybe we're wrong. I don't know.
Much better at hiding their nonsense. Ultimately, I hate the fact that a bunch of mums are going to be looking at their autistic children and thinking, did I do something wrong? That makes me sad for them, it really does. But I am glad that there might potentially be some sort of answer to that question. Because even if it makes you feel bad, maybe it's good to know what happened and what transpired that might have led to a specific outcome.
And you never know. Again, there's nothing wrong with taking Tylenol in the past and being like, oh, I'm just gonna take it. How the fuck would you know? You're not a scientist.
So on that front, although it's
I should probably ask my parents. How much did you take? I'm joking.
And all
I'm
these
joking.
people who are running
Why am I a
around taking
VTuber?
these drugs as a form of protest are really just useful idiots. In the end, I do believe that knowledge is power, and I think that the more that we learn about specific conditions and the many, many contributing factors that lead to them, the better off we will be as a society. But for right now, I do wish that the people on TikTok would just stop. Now, on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Dream/Beam. Using the link in the description, I cannot sing the praises of this hot chocolate enough. I love this stuff. It's just become such a staple in my household. I really like this company, so if this is something that you think would work for you, absolutely check them out. And I hope you have a good sleep. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you're looking at this all unfold and just thinking...
I think you're being extremely self-centered and doing shit for social media clout and posting about it and saying, oh my god. Again, this wouldn't have happened without social media. That's all I'm saying!
Why would you do this? Why would you politicize this? This is so silly. Do you think that people are doing what they're doing on TikTok because they're trying to protest Trump? What do you think underpins that? Because I don't really think I have an answer to that. Do you think that there is actually a meaningful relationship between Tylenol and autism? And do you
no
think
idea,
that's
I'm not a
something that
doctor, I'm an
maybe we
anime
should
girl.
explore further? What do you think of all of the little components surrounding this issue? The fact that the media are making fun of Trump and co for this, the fact that in years gone by they've pointed out the relationship between this drug and autism, and what you generally make of this issue overall. As always, if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed to the channel and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them. I really do. My mom called me out. She was like, I bet you don't. And I was like, no,
Your mom.
I really do. And I like
Your
hearing
mom.
your feedback. Of course, my little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe and well and make very good choices, because those are important. And
Not
will
me.
see your
I watch
wonderful little
VTubers.
faces in the next video.
Oh, man. Oh, what a day, what a day. Even if I didn't believe it, it's sure as fuck wouldn't do it out of spite. I wouldn't fucking post it online! Why would you do something that could be potentially traced back to you? Like, that's what I don't understand. It's like the people that do crimes and then post about it. Like, if you truly believe it and you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna keep taking Tylenol, why are you posting it on social media to self-validate yourself and then getting validation from other retards that are also on social media? I don't know. They don't think it through. No, they do not. They are crazy. Crazy, crazy people. Couldn't relate.